Hi friends! Today we're solving subtraction problems. Let's see all the different strategies that our class can do. The first question is 306 minus 125. Yes, Riley?
Miss Lee, I need to subtract two tens, but I don't have any tens. What do I do?
Do you remember sometimes our hundreds, we can break them down into tens? Do you remember how many tens make up 100?
10 tens?
Yeah, 10 tens make up 100. How can you show that on your picture?
Well, I know that I'm going to use this 100 and I'm going to make it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mhm.
So I have 10 tens, and I know that if I skip count by tens, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, that's 100. So it's the same as my big 100 block, but I just broke it into smaller pieces. So this one has changed now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I can take two tens away. So I'm going to cross this one out. I'm going to cross this one out. Okay.
Riley, I noticed one great thing you did after you drew the picture is you labeled as you counted your hundreds and your tens and your ones, and that way you don't make a mistake and you're counting as you go. Great job. Riley, why did you choose this strategy to solve your problem?
I used base 10 blocks because they really help me see the numbers, because I always think about the base 10 blocks, and it just helps me see what I'm doing.
Yeah, and when you had to break down the hundreds into tens, you could actually see that happening. And the same thing with tens into 10 ones, you can also show how that is broken down. Stella, I think using a number line for this problem is a really great strategy. I think when you were making your jumps, you chose the jumps really intentionally. How did you know to make jumps of 5, then 70, then 100, and then 6?
So I made the first jump 5 only because I wanted to get to the nearest 10, because that 10s are just really friendly numbers. So I added 5 to get to 130. Then once I got to 130, I went to the next 100 because I knew that I'm in the 100s and I need to get to the 300s. So then I went to 200 by adding 70. And once I got to 200, I knew I needed to add another 100. So I just made a big jump of 100 to get me to 300. And then all I had to do was think, oh, what's the difference between 300 and 306? Well, I just need to add 6 more. So here I just chose numbers that were really friendly so that I could easily choose numbers that would get me to my bigger number.
And just like you were adding up on a number line, you can do the same thing using different number sentences. So if you notice over here, I started on 125 like you did, and I made the same jump of 5, made the same jump of 70, 100, and 6. Except I'm just using a series of number sentences to show my work while you showed it on a number line. Okay, let's see what another friend is doing. Stella, why did you choose this strategy?
I chose this strategy because subtracting is still kind of hard for me and counting backwards. So I know that addition and subtraction are related and they're actually opposites. So I looked at this subtraction problem and I kind of thought of it as an addition problem. So I thought of it like this: 125 plus something is going to equal 306. That's how I thought about it, so that I could add instead of subtract, which is more difficult for me.
That's a great explanation, Stella. Pauline, let's pause for a second before you continue solving your problem. Look at your tens. I noticed that you put 20 minus 0. Can you explain where you got 20 minus 0?
Well, there's 0 tens here and there's 2 tens here. So I just put the bigger tens in front because I know that you have to put your bigger number in at the beginning of a subtraction sentence.
Okay, but if you look at the numbers, it's 306 minus 125. Is 320 and 6, does that make up the number 306?
No, that makes the number 326.
And let's take a look at the other number that you broke down, 100, 0, and 5. Does that make up 125?
That makes up 105.
Okay, so do you think we can do 20 minus 0 to make it easier to calculate?
Maybe.
Well, it looks like you're changing the number. If we are giving you the problem 306 minus 125 and you decided to work with 326 and 105, you're not really solving the problem that we're giving you. So let's think about how we can still maybe break down numbers like you're doing, but not by breaking down both numbers like that.
So instead of breaking down both numbers, should I just break down one number?
Let's try it. In addition, we've had that strategy where we keep one number the same and then break apart the other number. Let's see if we can do the same for this problem.
Okay, so I'm going to break apart my smaller number because that's what we did with addition. Oh, and look, I see here that this is the number 125, which matches my problem, which
Yes.
before it didn't. So I think we fixed that problem.
Mm-hmm. And while you were doing that, I was also trying it out on a number line. If you like doing it on a number line, I'm doing basically the same thing that you're doing. I start from 306, kept that number the same, broke down 125 into 100, 20, and 5, but just made jumps backwards to get to 181. Why did you choose this strategy to solve this problem?
Well, I chose this strategy because I'm comfortable counting backwards. So I can think about subtraction as truly subtraction. And so that helps me not get confused with trying to add it when I'm actually subtracting.
Okay. Great work, friends. We saw 3 different strategies that you can use for subtraction. We'll practice more in math labs.